So let's see the quick demo of MCP apps using in Azure Functions. So here my Azure function is running over there, and same Azure function actually for MCP server I can consume in our BS code, and simply I can just ask, okay, what is weather in. So yeah, simply if I just hit enter, so it will just call this MCP server and it will just returning to a UI. So that we have to try to implement over here. So here see, they just get this tools, like whatever the tools they finding the tools, and they're asking to actually allow the session. So if I just allow the session, so see, it is just calling immediately over here in my Azure function, and it just get the data and also along with the UI. So now see, it is also showing as a UI along with their data. So that we have to try to implement. So before we start implementation, I'm especially recommend, if you first time visit my channel, so go to my channel, which is .NET Real World Example, and in here you can just check my MCP server playlist or session. And apart from this, if you want to learn many other things like AI integration, any application, or front end, back end, as a full stack developer, as a game development and mobile development, so you can learn many things over here. So now further ado, so let's go to that implementation part. So let me open any command prompt, because I just want to create a project using this as a CLI. So yeah, let me just zoom it over here and also just change it to directory where you want to create a project. So let me move it to that. Here I just create one project like MCP UI, as I just create a folder or the root directory, and let me zoom little bit more over here. And yeah, but before I start, actually there is some few prerequisition. Actually you have to record your .NET at least 10 .NET 10 SDK. Second things, also you have to record Node.js, and also you are required Visual Studio Code for that extension method and all. And next also, if you are good, so you can use that Azure Developer CLI, but that is not mandatory, but yeah, that is fine. And also if you run your Azure function local, so definitely you have to require Azurite, that local storage. So that also you can just use it as a local function running, so there's queue and storage and all they will handle. And then finally actually record that Azure CLI, which is that, I think so. Yeah, just once you install Azure CLI, so definitely you will get that this is that CLI is available, this command will be support. So yeah, I think that pretty much good for that prerequisition. And once you're done, now let me just clear that. And now first command, actually I just try to do to create a new project. So for that new project, I can just do this, like simply is a de-initialization, and this is just template I'm just using as a template. And this is just the template name, remote MCP function .NET, and this is just that environment name. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so this is that command. So once you hit enter, now it will just create a project, and just download this template, and it will just create the project in our local. So now see, I just see that project completed, right? And if you just open it, is if you just open in a VS code, let me open this folder, this VS code, and see, this is just look like your project, right? So you can just simply use this project. Actually you can just run it, right, using this solution. There's also actually just create this MCP tool solution, so you can go to open this solution and run your here. So yeah, let me try to run that one also. So go to that project. So now see, this is my folder and this is my solution. So let me open it Visual Studio so that you can see easily like what we have created over here as a sample template. And also we can go through the code wise, like what they generated and all. So it's look like actually Azure function, if you aware that Azure function, so that is good. If you're not, so definitely I'm recommend so my other videos, check out that videos where I just explain at what is that Azure function and all. Now see, they just create this four function over here. One is that function MCP prompt, another one MCP resource, other one is a function MCP tools, and MCP weather apps. So actually this is our weather apps actually just created. So we have to set this one as a function start at point. Yeah, so once you done, and if you go to this program.cs file, so yeah, this is simple and clean, like using that our service only here. So whatever service actually as a service it is consuming in weather function. So this is my function which we refer. Okay, this is my UI, right? And this is actually refer for my UI which is giving that visit. And yeah, so this is the my visit, and this is my function which is support MCP tools, right? So yeah, that is pretty much clean and clear, right? And once you're done, now what I'll trying to do, I can simply run this application and show you what happened. So let me run this application. Now I can see my application is Azure function is running, and this is my MCP endpoints, right? And yeah, that we will try to consume in our VS code, and let me check like how actually get that response. And definitely it is not complete implementation. We have to do something for specific web UI as MCP server. So but before that I'll just want to show you like how actually it is work, and then what is the issue, and then how we need to fix it. So yeah, in this case what I'll do, I'll just simply open VS code. So let me try to open a new VS codes over here. And yeah, this is just new VS code. Actually we have to add MCP tools over here as a client. So yeah, you can use other client as well, like where you want, but yeah, I'll just use this guy projects, and let me add one folder. So yeah, MCP test with web UI, and select this project. Okay, and let me little zoom it so that it can easily clear it over here. And yeah, so now see it is nothing over here. So first of all I'll just create a folder over here, that .vs code, right? And in this empty VS code folder, actually they just actually we have to add that configuration. So for that simply I can just create another file, mcp.json file, and that's it. Okay, so once you're done, now we have to add that configuration, like that MCP tools over here. So now as of now this MCP configuration does not have any settings, right? So for that simply add this configuration, and using this HTTP or server sent one, so use that, and here you can just pass your endpoints, which is your Azure function. So simply you can just go to this, copy this guy, and go to here and paste it over here. And once you paste it here, simply hit that enter, and yeah, whatever name you want, so you can keep it. I'll just keep this. And once you're done, now you are able to see this is that configuration. Actually they just created like that server name, and this is that input as a blank, and type is HTTP, and this is that complete URL. That's it. And in here see there's a no actually it is still not run your MCP server. So you can just simply start that, and once you start, now see it is one tools is over there, like this is one tool. So yeah, it's have one tool. So yeah, it is running one tools. Now we can easily get that response back from this MCP tools from here. Now actually all that configuration is done. So yeah, what we have to ask, actually we just ask simply this like weather related questions, like okay, what is the weather in the Seattle, right? And simply hit enter. And just once you hit enter, let me see that here. Okay, so yeah, I can see that system is some issues. Okay, yeah, that is fine. So yeah, let me wait to find that the tools over here, and then we'll see. Okay, now see, you can, if you scroll up, yeah, see the tools actually they just find over here, and the location also find over here. And yeah, you can just asking to actually allow. So yeah, simply just allow. So once you allow, now see I am just getting one error. So if you go to here, just calling it is fine, but if you open your application, I'm just getting this error just because they are looking this UI app the dist folder, right, which is refer for index.html. So that is missing. That's why actually I just want to show you like how actually it is working. So definitely once you get the tools, it is required actually that UI, and that UI still we have not created. So yeah, that we will just create it. That's why we required in a Node.js. So yeah, simply I can just run this application, and once you run, so yeah, this in this case also it is running fine, but it will not giving your that UI, but only just giving that that uh, answer, right, whatever that current answer. So yeah, answer wise is fine, but there is a no UI because still we have not implemented. So for that UI implementation, what I can do, simply I can go to that original location. So this is my original location, and in here I just go back to that particular folder, which is this folder. This is my complete folder, and in here actually we have that MCP weather app, right? So as you can see, go to here, and yeah, let me just stop that, and MCP weather app, right? So yeah, this is actually mainly our folder. So inside that actually you can see this is app folder, but it is also src, and here that normal configuration, but yeah, it is not completed. So that we have to complete implementation. So we have to go to this particular location. So in this case you can directly go to right click on that, or you can just simply go to here, go to cd, then src. So yeah, this is my folder location, src weather, MCP weather app, and then app folder. Okay, so now go to this, inside this, and if you check, okay, so these are that existing file and all actually available. And once you're done, now what I'll do, simply actually file and folder everything is exist, but it is not properly runnable mode. So what I can do, simply install all that package first in this folder, right? So whatever actually that package is actually dependency package, they will install, so that it is make as a runnable project. And yeah, if you see, I can get some issues over here. So it is some, okay, let me little small it. So yeah, it is just again some issue actually, that versioning issue. So for that actually we can just simply again go to this npm install, and I can just tell, okay, forcefully I just want to install all that package. So yeah, simply hit enter. Now it will try to avoid and as a warning, and then they will just install all that package. So yeah, let's wait to install all that package. Now see, all that package got installed, and once you install, simply I can just run this, I can run this application as like our application is run for Node.js. So yeah, npm run build. So simply I can just build this application. Now my application is built properly. So now we have to fix that issue. Now once you fix that issue, now you don't need to do anything over there. Simply you can run it again, your project, this MCP weather forecast, or simply you can just run here itself, like uh, function start, based on this actually function start. So it will also start that your function. But yeah, I'll just use the Visual Studio so that I can see that easily it is running. So yeah, let me try to run again. It's running. Yeah, so my all that function is running over here, this MCP trigger and get better visit. And once you're done, now go back to our MCP tools in VS Code, and yeah, it is also running. We can just restart also, there's a no issue. Yeah, we can just restart, and yeah, once you restart properly, we can just again ask same questions whatever we have done previously, just asking, okay, uh sky, what is that weather in Seattle, and yeah, parallelly open this and hit enter. Okay, now see, I see now I'm getting that response without any issue. And also let me little yeah, so see, I'm getting that properly UI. So here that Seattle, western United States, and here the temperature properly as a UI uh, response along with their text response. So now this is the way actually you can just simply uh, implement your web UI in your MCP tools in that Azure function. So yeah, it is that pretty much good over here. So now we will do no further on other other things in this here, but yeah, so far actually for the initial level it is good for the enough this session. So yeah, thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.